The search for the reality of the unseen world. 3. Abdel-Moumin Ahmed. The highest purpose of religion is to serve humanity. Sustainable human development can only be achieved by awakening the inner sources of love, truth, and latent spiritual energy within the human soul, so that growth and self-improvement become a continuous, self-sustaining process. For this reason, the primary mission of contemporary religion should be the formation of the human being, not merely the preservation of religious institutions. The subject of the spiritual energy that human beings possess has become an important field of research today. Our task is to awaken this energy and direct it toward the good of all. Horizontal living for the sake of humanity and the common good, together with vertical living for the sake of God, are the two forces that set the generator of spiritual energy in motion, enabling it to produce ever greater power regardless of one's particular faith or religious practice. This is a divine law. It is part of what the Quran describes as the bounty of your Lord, a gift made available to all people without exception. In this way, we move beyond an institutional religion that confines itself to interpreting sacred texts while excluding others, toward a scientific spirituality founded upon the wisdom, objectives, and higher purposes of revelation, namely, the perfection of the human person and the healing of the human condition. Indeed, I have observed a gradual shift in public consciousness away from traditional institutional centrality toward a broader form of individual spirituality that seeks meaning while remaining open to those who hold different beliefs. The vision presented here also has profound social, economic, and political implications. Yet our primary concern is the personal dimension, the transformation of human consciousness and spirit, because this is the foundation upon which every other form of reform must be built. A person who enjoys spiritual and psychological stability is better equipped to seize economic and political opportunities and is more capable of addressing poverty, discrimination, conflicts over rights and responsibilities, and social and political divisions. The more deeply authentic spiritual knowledge takes root within humanity, the more attainable solutions to even the most difficult problems become. An integrated spiritual understanding also contributes to the restoration of healthy human relationships, especially between men and women, and to a balanced understanding of love and beauty. It helps cultivate a mature personality capable of forming healthy and harmonious relationships. Moreover, it enables individuals to develop their spiritual capacities through practice and personal experience, strengthens them against the growing tide of materialism, and offers them higher purposes and a more balanced perspective for facing the challenges of modern life, including social media, the struggles of young people, and the pressures of contemporary society, while fully benefiting from the achievements of modern science. For this reason, religion and spirituality must devote greater attention to helping people define meaningful life goals, realize their true potential, build self-confidence, and develop both intellectual and emotional competence. They should also offer new approaches to spiritual and physical development, family formation, and educational renewal, drawing upon the findings of contemporary science while remaining faithful to the comprehensive vision of the religious project. At its core, the religious project is built upon the relationship between the sender and the receiver. The distance between them narrows as the purposes of divine revelation become increasingly connected to the realities of human life through reason, experience, and practical application. In an age of unprecedented scientific progress and rapid civilizational change, religious discourse must continually renew itself if it is to guide humanity toward its highest purpose, the renewal of life through a new heavenly spiritual vision that harmonizes the spiritual and material dimensions of existence. This is what I have called the universality of faith and unification. Today we are called to transcend the limits of purely sensory existence, just as an athlete pushes beyond the limits of the body to achieve new levels of excellence. Human beings are invited to cultivate their spiritual capacities through prayer, meditation, worship, and other practices that expand consciousness and reveal deeper dimensions of reality. Within every human being lies an inner universe that reflects the whole of creation. As the famous verse beautifully expresses, "You think you are but a small body, yet within you the entire greater universe is contained." This understanding gave rise, within certain religious and spiritual traditions, to the concept of the divine human being. This does not imply that the human being is God. Rather, it means that God's names and attributes become increasingly manifested in a person according to his or her closeness to the Creator. This idea is reflected in the Psalms. I said, "You are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High." Jesus himself cited this passage when he said, "Is it not written in your law?" I said, "You are gods?" Here, divine sonship does not signify sharing God's essence. Rather, it signifies intimacy, complete belonging, and closeness to God, through which a person is liberated from the dominion of evil. The same truth is expressed in the famous sacred hadith, Hadith Qudsi. My servant continues to draw near to me through voluntary acts of devotion until I love him. And when I love him, I become the hearing with which he hears and the sight with which he sees. This hadith portrays the progressive ascent of the relationship between the human being and God, from the station of servanthood, characterized by the relationship between master and servant, to the station of friendship, intimacy, and divine love. At this stage, the individual becomes a living mirror reflecting God's names and attributes through character and conduct. This is the same spiritual reality that Jesus expressed through the concept of divine sonship, the relationship of a loving father and his child. It is also the station of the human being as God's vicegerent, Khalifa, on earth.